and welcome to this episode of Live from the Show Floor. I am Shelly Kramer, Principal Analyst and Founding Partner at Futurum Research, and I'm here at Tanium's Tanium Converge event in Austin, Texas. And I'm joined today by Luis Cunha from APTIV, and we are going to have a conversation about remote work and the shift that has been required over the course of the last couple of years, and how the shift to remote work changed how we think about security. Welcome.
Thanks, Shelly. All right, it's my pleasure to be here, and wow, what a subject, remote working, all right? So I think that the big bang was 2 years ago with the COVID, right?
Yeah.
So that was the big difference. We knew, and we have a lot of cybersecurity people that say that the security of the future, there are no boundaries as we knew them, right? Around the offices, and things are getting much more remote and much more closer to the end user. And suddenly we had to do that shift like this
Overnight.
All right.
Yeah. Which I think is good and terrible. You know, when I talk about the things that changed as a result of the pandemic, what I always look for silver linings. And I think that sometimes we had things on a list of things we needed to do.
Right.
And we just weren't getting to them. We weren't allocating budget. We weren't making it a priority. Other things were getting in the way. And because of this pandemic, we had to.
It's all
so
changed.
I look at that as somewhat of a silver lining.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
I also, and adding to that, I also look at that a very good opportunity, all right, to change it and to make it better, all right?
And kind of assess everything.
Exactly, all right? So basically what we had to do was to create very, let's call it, individual security around the users that were working from home, all right? Now, how can we do it? Different security architectures, different security engineerings based on the tools, challenging our vendors, and we ended up in doing it. And let me tell you, quality of experience for the end user has improved a lot. The message that we are getting from the end user has improved a lot, which is extremely good for us security people, knowing that
exactly
we are
what you want, right? Happy customers.
That's exactly it.
Yeah, absolutely. So tell me a little bit, you touched on it briefly, but there had to be so many nuances, so many tiny details that you had to deal with as you were navigating this shift. Talk with me a little bit about sort of how did you prioritize things? How did you kind of roll things out and make this a reality?
So the first thing that definitely we had to learn was how to manage our endpoints, knowing that the endpoints are not connected to our infrastructure, but actually right now and today they are connected to each one of the users' home network.
Right.
All right. So that's one of the things that we had to understand, and how the tools were helping us or adapted to this new reality. And the ones that were not adapted, we started challenging the vendors for that.
Right.
Okay. The second thing was, all right, so every network where the user is connecting today needs to be considered an untrusted network. So their home network is an untrusted network, right? So that that concept that we had, that people when they left the office and going to airports or to coffee shops or something, all right, connecting from those networks.
Right.
So those security concepts had to be brought over to new reality, which is their homes, all right? And at the same time, knowing that I need to bring the same quality of experience for the user, independent if he's in the office or at home.
Right.
Actually, we tried to expand it a little more, and I started to challenge my team.
Yeah.
And I challenged them. We don't care, and we must not look at where the user is connecting from a location perspective and from a device perspective. We need to make sure so that we can give them that liberty and flexibility to connect from anywhere.
Right.
But
which is what everybody today wants.
Exactly,
right.
All right. But making sure that our security controls are in place and we are protecting our data as we should.
As you should, absolutely. So let's talk about Tanium.
Yeah.
You have been working with Tanium for kind of a long time.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't a pandemic-inspired shift. So talk with me a little bit about how Tanium got on your radar screen, what your early experiences were, and how that has evolved.
So I've been working with Tanium for the last 7 years. Actually, I'm in APTIV only for the last 5 years, but I know that they have been using Tanium for the last 7 years. The big surprise for me, and I didn't know Tanium when I arrived in APTIV, all right, was the level of visibility that the tool gives.
It's really cool.
It is really nice. So the first thing that any security professional looks for is visibility.
Right.
It's understand the landscape, so that then we can start designing the proper security architectures, engineering, you name it, all right? It's to understand the foundations, what we have. Tanium helped us a lot. When he knew about our landscape, then we started to understand, okay, how can we do more? Where can we go into automations? How can we help the other teams, like business teams? APTIV has a lot of manufacturing plants.
Right.
How can we help the manufacturing teams to get into, for example, good patching levels? Give them the ability to use the tool. Let's tell them, let's show them that this is a different security tool that can be used by them. They are in drive of the changes. We give them ability.
And they like that.
They loved it.
They love it, yeah,
right?
absolutely.
And that is one of the good things about Tanium, is that it gives the ability for people to drive it. Security teams prepare it, but then it's for people to drive it. And that's a big change.
Yeah, that is huge. Absolutely.
That is really big.
So, if I asked you to tell me beyond visibility what your favorite thing about Tanium is, what will you leave us with?
I would say that it is the automations or the actions that you can take with the tool. Okay? So when you look at something that is very concerning today for any security professional, all right, is risk management.
Right.
Right? So and you have the vulnerability management, all right? And one thing is knowing about the vulnerabilities, the other thing is remediating the vulnerabilities.
Right.
That's where Tanium comes in. It is really cool the way that they action based on the vulnerabilities that are known and the fastness. It is really fast to deploy. The other thing that Tanium, for me, is a differentiator, and let me go back again to the remote working. We suddenly had to send 30,000 people home to work, and our VPN definitely didn't have the capacity, neither licenses to do it, all right?
Sure.
So we had to go to another solution, but we had the challenge to, okay, so for that solution we need to deploy 20 or 30,000 agents across our endpoints. Tanium helped us to do it, and we did it in 2 hours.
Oh my gosh.
2 hours. We created the package, we deployed 2 hours. Everybody was ready to connect.
That's awesome.
It's really good.
That's really good. That's what you want. And something that's fast, that people love, that gives you immediate access data.
And one of the secrets in security, right, is fastness.
Yeah.
Because the other bad guys, they're fast. Very fast.
They are very fast, and we don't like them. Luis, thank you so much.
Thank you,
It has been a lovely conversation. I really appreciate you spending time with me. And to our audience, thank you for spending time with us as well, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.